Welcome to the Town of Garner regular council meeting of September 2nd, 2025. And many of you are used to hearing me speak about what a beautiful evening it is, but this evening I really mean it. It really is beautiful. And we have some guests here tonight who have not heard me proclaim how beautiful it is. So trust me, you make it even more beautiful being here. With that, let's call the meeting to order, and I will ask the town clerk to please call the roll.
Mayor Gupton.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Vance.
Here.
Councilmember Behringer.
Here.
Councilmember Matthews.
Here.
Councilmember Dellinger.
Here.
And I believe Councilmember Singleton is participating remotely.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. And it does take a motion and a second to allow a council member to participate remotely. And I'll ask our council members who are here if there is a motion and a second to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Matthews, second by Ms. Behringer, that we allow Council Member Singleton to participate remotely. If there's no discussion, we'll just take a voice vote. All in favor of allowing him to participate remotely, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by nay? Hearing none, certainly he is allowed to participate. Glad to have you with us, Council Member Singleton, and thank you for your conscientious behavior to make sure you don't accidentally spread a germ or an allergy of some type. So thank you very much. At this point, we will turn to Council Member Matthews to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and then he will hold the invocation.
If you can, stand, please. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Oh, merciful Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight at our council meeting, just thanking you for another day of the gift of life. Lord, grant us wisdom as we debate and talk about issues that concern our community. And Lord, we thank you for our community. We're so blessed by so many people from all over the world, and it just makes it a wonderful place to be living in. Be with our military, I pray, be with our country, and be with our soldiers and sailors overseas, and we'll give you praise and glory. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Matthews.
Yes, sir.
And we move along now to section D on the agenda, which is petitions and comments. And I will ask our town attorney if anyone has signed up to speak during this part of the program.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have 3 individuals who've signed up to speak. The first one is Sarjam Mala.
Okay, and before I call him up, I'm going to read the little disclaimer that we always do here. You could be making your way to the podium if you like, but we read this whenever we have the petitions and comments section. This portion of the meeting is to receive comments from the public on items that are not included in this agenda regarding matters germane to town policies or business or subjects within the town council's real or apparent jurisdiction. Individuals or group spokespersons must sign up with the town clerk prior to the start of the meeting. The council is interested in hearing your concerns, but will not take action or deliberate on subject matter brought up during the petitions and comments segment. Topics requiring further investigation will be referred to the appropriate town officials or staff and may be scheduled for a future agenda. And just to remind everybody, there is a 3-minute time limit, and there's a little clicker right there that you can see your countdown. And if you would please come to the podium, sir, and state your name and address, and we're glad to hear from you.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor and team, council members, for giving me this opportunity this evening. This is Saira Malla. I am here from Edge of Auburn Committee with my team, whole of individuals, and we have like almost 600 to 700 families living in edge of urban community. It is fairly new community. We moved to the Garner area. The reason is like it's very upcoming. The resources, the infrastructure, and the town officials. We have done lot of research, and all the families in this area came to Garner to build our families and raise our kids, and we want to retire here in this beautiful town of Garner. The main reason to come over here is like when we reached out to mayor office, asking him and his team to participate, come and visit our Ganesh festival, which is an Indian festival. So graciously, Mayor Buddy have accepted our invitation, and thanks Rick for coordinating with town of Garner team officials. And graciously, you guys not only visited Edge of Urban, also other communities in this area. We really want to thank from bottom of our heart. Our families, kids, really everyone felt very happy seeing you and your team and hearing that encouragement, what is Garner stands for basically. You have given that positive spirit and encouragement, and also you have given a hope that if you need anything, I am here in town of Garner and my team is here. So that's all we need, and we want to collaborate with you guys in anything. Either it could be like civic duty or cultural exchange or anything. We all like, I think like maybe more than 1,000 families are here. We want to be as part of one Garner big family and make it cherish and prosperous and make this Garner be number one in this RTP area in next 5 years. Thank you so much, Mayor and your team. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. It's just like a little commercial for Garner. We usually discourage applause, but this was so moving that we couldn't help. Thank you. Our team had a wonderful time meeting your neighbors and friends and relatives. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Town attorney, who is next to
The
speak?
next individual, Adarsh Yadlapali.
Yes, sir. If you would address the podium there, give us your name and address, and we're glad to hear from you.
All right. Hey, I'm Adarsh Yadlapali. I'm from Magnolia Park off of Old Bethel Church Road. My address is 123 Wood Orchid Lane. I'm here to basically thank, again, the town, mayor, pro tem, Mr. Vance, and all the other council members, staff, all of those folks who showed up, as well as folks who couldn't join us. There was a lot, you guys really invited us with warmth. Like my friend just said, on behalf of everybody that's moved into Garner in the last 2 to 3 years, I really take pride in basically saying we really feel welcome to the town. I do want to say overall, not just as a Magnolia Park homeowner, but rather as an overall Garner Indian community. When you guys joined Ganesha to the celebrations, you just did not just join as we are the town team, we're going to sit here, you guys tell us what to do and all. You guys wanted to participate. We really loved when, like, Mr. Vance, Mr. Rick, all the other folks who joined into the celebrations, they played some games with us. It was really fun to have you guys. It said that, we're not just formally saying this, but we really mean it. That was really helpful. Having said that, having thanked you guys, I do want to talk a little bit more about the future, a future collaboration that we want to do. It's not just the festivities that we want to celebrate together, right? We want to participate in all the cultural events. I think I pinged Rick over the last couple of times. We want to be invested in the town. Like my friend just said, we are here not for 2 or 3 years. We are here to make Garner our home. We're here to basically say, you know what, like you said, we want to retire. We want our kids to grow up here. We want our kids to get married, do whatever, like buy houses, buy properties, establish their families. In addition to that, in addition to just raising families, right? What we also want to do is we want to help out the town. There's this preconceived notions when you talk about Garner in our area. Everybody knows this. Everybody has this in the back of our mind. I see the town really striving hard to remove that. We really want to help out there. Like if there's anything we want to help out, we want to chip in and figure out what are the ways we can remove these stigmas, if there's even a little bit associated with that. In addition to that, having lived here 2.5 years, every time I have touched to talk of any incident with the town hall, whether it be the city, whether it be the DOT, whether it be our construction, whether it be the PD, every time it's been like a very inviting conversation. It's never been like, okay, we will put this in a podium. You got to come here. You got to figure out what we do and all of that. So that really makes any newcomer welcome. So thank you so much for doing that. Like you all know, I'm already collaborating. I really want to strongly collaborate, like Mr. Vance knows in detail. I want to figure out what are the top-notch, top 2 or 3 issues. If we can solve those, I think it also builds the sort of trust. Oh, my team doesn't just tell me that they will do this, but actually, rather, they actually are working behind the scenes to get this done. So while thanking you all, I also want to offer my helping hand. Like my friend said, almost approximately 1,000 families just moved in the last 3 years. That's the growth you want the town to have. That's the growth you want to invite into the town, right? As we do that, out of the 1,000 families, I'm pretty sure at least 10% of the folks will raise up a hand and say, we want to volunteer. How can we help? So seek the help, you will have it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, we'll applaud just a little bit. Okay, that's enough. Let's don't overdo it there. No, fantastic, thanks. We enjoyed it so much. Town attorney, who else has signed up?
Sorry, Tarika Lewis?
Yes, come up, state your name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor and Council. My name is Tarika Lewis, and I want to thank y'all so much for allowing me to speak today. I wanted to come to you all not as a lobbyist and not as a paid consultant, but as a mother, a veteran, a recent college graduate, and most importantly, as a person who deeply cares about the well-being of this community. Recently, I had the pleasure of working the front desk at Kings Ridge, and if many of you are familiar, I hope it is the affordable housing community that has helped people to no longer be homeless. While I was there, I learned the names of each and every resident. I got to know their stories. I got to hear their highs and their lows, their aspirations, and what Kings Ridge is doing for them. And while I was there, I was humbled every single day, realizing that myself and many others are one crisis away from facing homelessness ourselves. So today, I'm not here to speak to you in the abstract. I'm here to speak to you as a mother who had to enroll her children in Garner's McKinney-Vento program. And I'm very grateful for that program because while my family faced housing instability for years, we were at least able to keep my sons in the same school. There is a documented shortage of 766 affordable units in Garner for households under 60% of the area median income. And yet in the meeting last week, I heard that Garner's responsibility is for 16.5 units a year. And that statistic felt deeply out of touch. At that pace, families like mine will have to wait half a century for any type of relief. And I came to understand as well that although Garner's median income is $77,000, the town has decided to define affordable housing using the regional income of $132,000, which means households making over $100,000 a year are considered eligible for help, while families like mine, who make considerably less, don't. One of the things that I must ask you all today is, will Garner continue to define affordable housing in a way that helps households making $100,000 per year? Or will it build a future where veterans like me, teachers, bus drivers, parents, can raise their children in the community that they love? I urge you all today to preserve the homes that we have here, to increase the affordable housing in the pipeline, and to let your policies reflect the families who are actually here and those who are at risk of homelessness that don't look like the image that comes into mind. I thank y'all so much for having me today, and I hope y'all have a good evening.
Thank you so much. And that's a heartfelt story and response. It's so good to put a face instead of just a statistic with what we all care about, affordable housing. Statistics can't tell the whole story. human beings tell the story. So a little round of applause, just very, very small. That's because we only have 3 speakers, and they kept it short that we still have time for applause and positive reinforcement. Thank all 3 of you who took the time to come and speak to us. It is very meaningful to all of us. So thank you. That being said, we'll move along to item E on the agenda, which is the adoption of the agenda. And I will ask council members for a motion and a second to approve this agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Behringer, seconded by Mr. Matthews. Is there any other discussion or comments to make about the agenda? Hearing none, I'll call for a voice vote. All in favor of adopting the agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by nay. Hearing none and seeing Mr. Singleton give us the 2 thumbs up, that sounds like a nay to me, even though we don't hear him. So thank you. We will proceed with the agenda. We will start with the presentation, and it's of a very interesting topic that we all want to learn more about, the 540 Turnpike Phase 2. And here to present that is none other than Alan Shapiro with the North Carolina Turnpike Authority. So if you would, please tell us what we need to know.
Good evening, Mayor Gupton, as well as Town Council. I am not Alan Shapiro. I'm Julian Griffey, Senior Planner here with the Planning Department. My sole purpose is to introduce Mr. Shapiro and certainly not steal his thunder, but he will be providing an update on the Phase 2 portion of the 540 Highway project.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and the rest of the council. As stated earlier, I'm Alan Shapiro, Chief Engineer for Turnpike Authority. Going to give an update on the Complete 540 project, touch a little bit on Phase 1, but a little more in depth on the Phase 2 projects. So on the screen here is the mission statement of the Turnpike Authority. We are committed to delivering those innovative transportation solutions on behalf of the local planning organizations, providing drivers more choices for their commute. I won't touch on all of the reasons for tolling, but some of the ones that we like to highlight are we are a tool in the DOT toolbox. We provide an opportunity for projects to start sooner, additional funding sources to help bridge some of the funding gaps that are realized in the state's STIP program. It also provides more travel options. No one is ever forced to take a Turnpike Authority toll project. They can use one of the free alternative routes that are adjacent to or in close proximity to our facilities, and it supports those growing populations. It allows those other corridors to be less congested, providing different travel options for the area. So this is a map of the 540 outer loop around Raleigh. It includes the I-540 section on the north side of the town, as well as the Triangle Expressway, which is the NC 540 route there. On the bottom there is the Phase 1 project that we opened in September of last year. So currently, of the 70 miles of the outer loop, we have 60 that are open to traffic, and we are currently constructing the final 10 miles there on the eastern side of the map. So we've got 86% of the lane miles open, and the remaining 14% we have under construction right now. So this was the original Triangle Expressway that was opened in 2012. It ran from I-40 in Durham down to NC 55 in Apex. When we opened the Complete 540 project, it extended the Triangle Expressway to the I-40, I-42 interchange here in Garner. What the Triangle Expressway now serves is really a Raleigh bypass, where folks who are living in the Johnston County area, for those who wanted to travel west of Raleigh, perhaps to RTP for work, would have to travel through downtown Raleigh on I-40 and then to head home the same route, which, even on a good day was probably going to be congested. And so what the Triangle Expressway serves now is that Raleigh bypass. But anyone who is not traveling the full length of the project, we have 17 interchanges that are open right now to serve our customers for any of those access points in between. Here are the different TIP projects that comprise the Complete 540 project. The Phase 1 projects there are on the bottom of the screens, the A, B, and C icons. And the phase 2 projects on the right side of the screen, the D and the E, the R2829A and B projects, those are the ones that are currently under construction. So just a couple of pictures. This is the NC55 interchange in Apex, where Complete 540 Phase 1 started. This was the original all-traffic exit of the Triangle Expressway. And the Phase 1 project took off into the background of the picture there towards the horizon. So this is an interchange I'm sure most folks in the room are familiar with. This is the turbine-style interchange. This is where we have 3 interstate routes, I-40, I-42, and NC 540 coming together in an interchange. The unique aspects of this interchange you see here are the colors of those roadway alignments. You have 2 different colors. You've got a dark kind of black asphalt color and then a tan dirt type color. So right now with Phase 1 open, traffic can travel on any of those asphalt color alignments, those black alignments. Traffic is not allowed to drive on the dirt. That is going to be open to traffic when Phase 2 opens in late calendar year 2028. And these are the highlighted sections here that will be available to traffic once we open the remainder of the corridor. Here's a picture of current construction. This photo's about a month old now, but this shows the Bushy Branch bridges that are just east of the I-40 interchange. Phase 1, or the Triangle Expressway, takes off again into the background of the picture there. That is headed back west towards US 1 and further on to I-40 in Durham. I-40 east-west runs kind of from the right side of the picture to the left side of the picture, and I-42 heads to the left there for a perspective. This is the location of the future Rock Quarry Road interchange. This is on the 2829B project. You can see the clearing that has been done for the project corridor. The contractor actually has their field office just below the drone here, so you can't see that. But Rock Quarry Road is going to be one of our major interchanges on the Phase 2 projects. Some updates on our current construction. Even though we started really heavy construction about this time last year, you can see we've already got a handful of bridges underway. Culverts a little bit farther along. We've actually completed 4 of our reinforced box culverts. So very proud of the progress that our contractors are making right now on those 2 projects. And as we really ramp up this year and next, you'll see those blue bars start to dwindle and then disappear, and the 2 different green colors start to grow. As I mentioned before, here is our anticipated project schedule. Really beginning major activities, and we are very close to finalizing all of our construction designs, and project completion still slated for late calendar year 2028. So because I don't have a whole lot of pictures right now of Phase 2, we're going to look at a few different design concepts. These are from our contracting partners. They provided these concepts. So the original department design for this location had 2 sets of bridges, one crossing over the railroad there, and then another set of bridges crossing over East Garner Road. What that ended up requiring was a very small earth plug in between those 2 sets of bridges. And the bridges over East Garner Road would have been about 60 foot high. And if you talk to any constructor or any maintainer, nobody wants to deal with those either during the construction phase or the maintenance phase. And so we worked with our design build team to actually realign East Garner Road like you see here and move it closer to the railroad so that we could eliminate a set of bridges there that go over East Garner Road, really lower the elevation of that bridge, only have 1 set of bridges to maintain, which is much better for our future maintenance costs, and we actually received some construction cost savings from the bid by eliminating those bridges and realigning East Garner Road.
How long do you anticipate East Garner Road being closed during that period?
I believe that there is an ICT for it, which is an intermediate contract time. I believe that the contractor is only allowed to close East Garner Road and Detour for 90 days, I believe. The great thing about it being on a new alignment, they can work on most of it before the tie-ins are needed to close East Garner Road and put it on its final pattern. So there is a short-term duration ICT that will be off-site detouring East Garner Road, but we'll certainly, before that gets anywhere on the horizon, we will make that word known to everybody. So this is a design of what the interchange at US 70 is going to look like. This was an ATC, which is an alternative technical concept proposed by the design build team. This interchange is an RCI, a reduced conflict interchange. It eliminates left turns coming off of the ramps and makes people make a right turn and U-turn farther down to reduce the signal phasing at those interchanges and promote more movement on US 70 through the interchange. And here's a little bit farther away, the interchange. You can see the bridges is just above the banner there at the top of the picture, and this is one of those U-turn bulb outs. Looks like for those folks who wanted to, I guess, turn left off of the exiting ramp. This is a concept of what the ultimate design at the I-87 540 interchange is going to look like. Just like at the I-40, part of this is already open to traffic, but this contractor will be completing this interchange for its ultimate design. A very unique aspect of this interchange, and I kind of nerd out over this stuff because I'm an engineer, but if you're looking from the right side of the screen as you travel to the left and come south onto the toll road, you see that there is a flyover bridge over I-87. And then as soon as you get over I-87, you dip down under 540. And so the design build team, I'm not taking credit for it, they called this a flunder. So it was a fly over, fly under. And so I thought that was a very unique aspect of their design. And so I make sure to give them the kudos for that whenever I give a presentation. But that was a very unique design, help them balance their earthwork by not having to have another set of dual bridges go over Toll NC 540 for that flyover movement. So something else that we were very passionate about was coordinating with the local municipalities to accommodate current multimodal bike ped accommodations and to accommodate for future plans as well. Nobody wants to have to demo a bridge or widen an existing bridge when you can plan forward in the future. And so that's what we made sure to do on phase 1 and for phase 2. So again, this is revisiting our complete 540 phase 1 projects. And here are all the locations where we had some type of bike ped multi-use accommodation on that project. And I won't read through all of these because it was in your agenda packet, but you can see we've got a combination of shared bike lanes, separate bike lanes, and multi-use paths that were shown on the local jurisdictions MTPs. Sidewalks as well, and then right there, ready for future improvements. What that means is we widened out the bridges ahead of time. We built earth berms that are going to be out there for when the municipalities, the jurisdictions want to come through and do those future improvements. So we were planning ahead, working with local staffs and to make sure that we accommodated all those future plans. Likewise on phase 2, here are all the locations where we're doing the same accommodations. Again, shared bike lanes, separated lanes, multi-use paths, and setting up future alignments for those future improvements. Again, sidewalks already incorporated at White Oak and Pool, and then again, future improvements on those interchanges and bridge overpasses. Noise walls. So I recently presented to another town council and their staff asked that I touch on noise walls. So I figured I would go ahead and save staff and council from having to ask me to present on this again in case there's questions that come up from citizens about the noise wall process. So I'll spend a few minutes discussing that. So a very important date that is key in the conversation is what's known as the date of public knowledge. And so that date of public knowledge is the approval of the final environmental document. Now, while original Triangle Expressway doesn't necessarily pertain to the town of Garner, certainly Complete 540 does. And so that June 6, 2018 date is the date that is most important when it comes to the town of Garner and noise walls. Essentially, any location that had a building permit approved prior to that date is eligible to be studied as part of the noise policy. Any building dwelling that has a building permit issued after that date does not get evaluated by the noise policy. And so development is striking up, every day. And so when new developments are being constructed along the corridor, if they are brand new developments, then per federal highway policy, US DOT and NC DOT noise and air policy, we cannot accommodate noise abatement for those communities. So that June 6th date, again, that is the critical date when analyzing whether a receptor gets to be evaluated or not. And even if a receptor is evaluated, doesn't mean that they're going to get noise abatement, because there are other checks that go along the process when evaluating noise walls. There is feasibility and reasonability. We call it feasible and reasonable. We are only per policy allowed to build 2,500 square feet of noise wall per receptor. So when you think of tightly packed developments, apartments, townhomes, those are very good candidates for noise walls because you have a bunch of receptors close together. So a lot of receptors will benefit from a smaller section of noise wall. When you get in a more rural setting and you have houses that are spread far apart, it's really difficult to get a noise wall to work for a receptor here and another receptor here based on that 2,500 square foot per receptor requirement that we're held to by US DOT policy. So kind of touched on this a little bit. So we got the policy and then the study, and then any noise walls that are found to be feasible and reasonable get to be balloted by those impacted receptors. They can turn down a noise wall. Those who are receiving benefit from it have the ability to deny it. On phase one, we had no noise walls that were denied. They were all approved. Certain that on phase two, we will have, that same outcome. Currently, there are no noise walls contemplated on the 2829A project because of that exact reason I was mentioning, that we have such rural settings out there based on that, when that date of public knowledge was. We do have some on the B project, but that is much farther north away from the town of Garner. So just a quick touch on the outreach that we've done on phase one and we're looking to do on phase two. At Turnpike, we really want to get out. We want to give presentations. We want to answer questions. I think that's why Mr. Vance stopped me at one of our Campo meetings, said we'd love to have you come in, and we're happy to do that. We want folks to hear the correct message from us and for us to answer any questions that anyone may have. So on the phase one projects, we really started our outreach right at the beginning of COVID, but you can see we did over 130 presentations. We've touched over 7,000 individual participants, issued over 90 press releases. The postcards, that's something that we really are proud of. We call those our dear neighbors. And we can geolocate a targeted audience for an upcoming construction activity. If there's going to be bridge pile driving or there's going to be clearing activities in the coming weeks, we will send out a dear neighbor and say, hey, just FYI, in the next couple of weeks, you're going to be hearing some pile driving. This is how long we expect it to last. Here's our hotline number. Here's our email address. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. You can see there we received over 2,500 emails and 1,500 calls to our dedicated hotline. That does not count anyone who reached out directly to me or other Turnpike staff. Those are the touches that were logged by our consultant to our dedicated project hotline. So phase two's just started, but we certainly want to continue the successful strategies we had from phase one. We have 2 neighborhood meetings scheduled for this month. I mentioned those at the last executive board meeting, but those are September 16th and 22nd. We sent those postcards out to residents nearby on the project corridor. advising of those, but they're also going to be on our website as well. Anybody who wants to come and see project plans, talk to the project team, we will be having those 2 meetings later this month. And you can see initiating communications in early 2025. Again, we've got our neighborhood meetings. We're sending out letters to residents, trying to keep everyone up to date on any future upcoming construction activities. Some of our resources on our project website, you can see there on the left side of the screen. It's a little tough to see, but those are actually orange safety barrels. And so you can zoom into the map and click on any one of those safety barrels, and it will give you information on a particular construction activity that's going on. It'll give you when it started, what the activity is, and how long we anticipate it lasting. So you can see there's a few remaining on phase 1, and then there's more coming on phase 2. So you can drill down to what's nearby. You can turn on your GPS on your internet browser and take you right to your house and see what's coming up nearby. And again, all this is on the Complete 540 webpage there that you see on the right. We got a bunch of different project documents and also our contact information there if anybody wants to reach out to us. And here it is again. Here's our toll-free hotline, the email address, and our Twitter and Instagram handles. So that's all I have. I will be happy to take any questions.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Very informative. This is a key project to getting around on our side of the county. We talk about our different governmental and quasi-governmental partners, and certainly the Turnpike Authority has been one of the most cooperative, most forward-thinking, and we really appreciate everything that you've done and continue to do. With that, I think I'll pass the microphone to the council members, and we'll start with our very own Mr. Transportation, Mayor Pro Tem Elmo Vance.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, thank you. Mr. Shapiro, thank you for the very thorough briefing and responding to my request to come brief the council early on. And Mr. Dillinger really pointed out one area in which was an area I thought that the council will have some questions about, and that is the detour of Old Garner Road in that area, because it's a well-traveled route, and to know that the plan is already in place is one that brings a lot of relief to me to know that, but I pretty much knew that already. Question I have in reference to cost briefly, and pertaining to first if you can give us a rough idea how much the last completed portion of the Southern Loop cost. Roughly.
Yes. So the construction bids that were turned in for those 3 projects totaled roughly 16 to 18 miles. All 3 of those construction bids came in at around $750 million total. So 18 miles, $750 million for those 3 projects.
For the total project?
For just phase 1, for the southern section. Yes, sir. And for the phase 2 projects, now keep in mind, the first 3 were awarded in 2018, and we awarded the most recent ones in 2023. But we are getting 10 miles of construction for $740 million. So just roughly the same contract values for just a little over half of the lane miles that we got back in 2018. So it's not uncommon with what we're seeing in the state STIP with construction estimates, that the price increases are across the board, really since post-COVID.
Thank you. And that's common for the prices to increase and the C price increases. So I'm just saying that we won't be surprised when we look at our final cost estimates for our capital projects. We have initial cost estimates, and with more refined designs, and we more likely may see some increase. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dellinger.
Yeah, thank you for the information, and it's good to see your success and intent on outreach and the pride you all have in that. And I say that because my mom's husband passed away in 2006, Alan Dameron, and he served on the Turnpike Authority way back when. Mm-hmm. He was very proud of his time there, mm-hmm. and I'm sure he'd be very proud of the spirit with which you all are going through this work. So that's really good to see. I'll be sure to tell my mom. She'll be very happy about that. But thank you so much for the information. Really good to see the progress that's been made already on time and just keeps chugging along.
Yes,
So
sir.
it's helpful for towns and municipalities to be able to set their watch by your construction timeline. So thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Behringer.
Excuse me, I don't have any questions. I appreciate the presentation, and I'm trying to digest what I saw because that's a lot considering how much you've accomplished in a short period of time. Greensboro is my hometown, and not too long ago, I was up there and decided to go around their portion of the Beltline, their beltway that they were constructing, and it wasn't anything like what we're doing here. So I appreciate the work and your dedication.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. And this is when we would normally call on Mr. Singleton, who is remote with his microphone turned off. But if you'd like to turn it on and ask a question, that'll be fine too.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I just wanted to clarify. He said that pre-COVID, the 18 miles cost approximately $780 million, and then post-COVID, 10 miles cost $750 million. Am I close on those numbers?
Yes, sir. You're close. I don't have the exact numbers, but I believe the pre-COVID 18 miles was around 750 million, and post-COVID 10 miles was around 730, 740.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, staggering on the inflation.
Yeah, we were very nervous receiving the bids that we weren't going to be able to financially close with our federal loans that we were acquiring because of how much we were anticipating the cost going up. But we were very lucky. We got very competitive bids out of our contracting industry. I think they were eager to do the work, and their bid showed that, and we're going to reap the benefits of them being able to perform that work.
Thank you. Mr. Matthews?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Great presentation, by the way. I got a couple of growth questions for you. Garner is growing by leaps and bounds, and there's a lot of potential commercial activity around some of these larger roads where you're going to have interchanges and what have you. Far as putting in sleeves for water sewer for potential growth down, is that something that you guys come up? Do we present it? Because, how does that normally work?
Sure. So on the phase one project, more specifically the R2828, we coordinated very heavily with town staff, and there are quite a few locations where we already installed encasement pipes for future city improvements. Mm-hmm. When it comes on time for them to happen on the future projects, we've actually been in discussions with potential developers very early on. There are some that we've been able to accommodate via the design build contract. Some, unfortunately, we haven't been able to come to an agreement, and so they're going to have to come back after the contract's done and do a jack and bore underneath the right of way, which is not unheard of. We do that all the time, but if there is an opportunity, we try to get it incorporated into the construction contract, take advantage of a contractor already being there, and get those facilities installed.
That's great. I know one just completed Highway 50. We had water sewer, and down at Old Stage Road, just water went through there. I'm not sure how the ball got dropped on that one, but is there any way after the fact coming back and adding something after that road has already been open?
Sure, there is. It's a little bit more of a process to go through the DOT district office to get those plans approved, but it's not impossible. Certainly, again, you get the benefit of the construction of doing an open cut and laying encasement pipes at that point, whereas now you can't open cut an open road, and so you got to do a jack and bore, which is a little more expensive, but again, it's not impossible. Just something that we'll have to coordinate with our DOT district office and any future developer or town that wants to put those facilities in.
So at Old Stage Road, we could go back quite possibly and put that sewer sleeve in if we wanted to.
Sure, yeah. There's without knowing the specifics, I don't know of any reason off the top of my head why it would be what would be a showstopper for that.
Okay,
Mr. Matthews, I think the decision was made at one point not to add that one that was originally thought about because Raleigh Water does not believe that would be the likely route that we take sewer to get it back to the treatment plant. So that was part of the reason that sleeve was not put in.
Has that changed since then, or?
Well, that was a decision that Raleigh weighed in on when we were originally looking at where to put things. So that is still not expected to be the route that we take. But if it needs to go that route, we could work to get that added.
Because on like that potential development, special key intersection, like it's been everywhere else, commercial growth's just taken off. And as a town of Garner, I don't want to miss that opportunity to make sure we get that good growth over there and work with you guys. So that's a good answer. I can live with that. So there's a possibility then. Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
Okay, and I'll just ask one more time, any other questions, comments from council members that we haven't addressed?
I would just say thank you for the briefing. Appreciate it very much.
Yes, sir. And in a couple of years, we'll be happy to come back and talk about more progress and have a bunch more pictures instead of design concepts to talk to council about. So, Mr. Vance, I'm sure we'll be seeing each other at executive board meetings as long as your term is, and we'll find the right time to come back.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Did
you have a question?
The timeline, the two sections, are they going to be built concurrently and open concurrently, or are they going to be phased?
Yes, sir. No, they'll be opened at the same time, just like we did on phase one. None of our intermediate interchanges can serve as an all-traffic exit, so we need to open from I-40 to I-87 at the exact same time to allow traffic to exit without backing up onto 540.
Everybody wants to hear about the transportation system, don't they?
Yes, sir, and we're happy to talk about it.
Well, thanks for keeping it moving out there. Thanks for all of you for the support, and thanks again for the information you brought us here.
Yes, sir. All right, thank you.
Okay. That brings us to item G on the agenda, which is the consent agenda. Typically, these are items that are a little more routine in nature and have been studied by staff and council as well beforehand. There's only one item on there this evening, and I'll first of all ask council members, is there any reason to take this item off of the consent agenda and have a full discussion or vote on that? Any motion to take it off of the consent agenda? Okay, hearing none, we'll move right along and see if there's a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Matthews and a second by Ms. Behringer to accept the consent agenda. And let's go with a voice and a sign language vote here by Mr. Singleton, who was remotely voting with his thumbs. And we will, I will call for those who want to approve the consent agenda to signify by saying aye or a thumbs up.
Aye.
Okay, seems unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Singleton. You're getting pretty good at that sign language. So that one passes unanimously. We will move along to part H of our program, which is public hearings. And it's always interesting to read these little disclaimers to help us remember the difference between these public hearings, which have to do with legislative hearings, as opposed to the slightly more complicated quasi-judicial hearings. Both of these this evening are legislative hearings which do not require sworn testimony. However, all persons interested in speaking must sign up with the town clerk. Town staff will present a brief description, followed by the applicant, and other persons who wish to comment on the item will be recognized to speak. Council requests groups of individuals with the same position to designate a representative to speak for the group. That being said, let's move to item 1 under public hearings, which is a voluntary annexation petition based around the location of 5021 Vanessa Drive. And our presenter is our planning director, Mr. Jeff Triesenberg. Take it away, Jeff.
All right. Good evening, Mayor, council members, members of the public. Yes, we have 2 annexation public hearings for you tonight. The first one is ANX 25014, the property at 5021 Vanessa Drive. As shown here in this map, it is just directly adjacent to the south side of Smith Elementary School. This petition was submitted by Jen Truman. Representative tonight in attendance will be Rob Baumgart. The purpose of the request is for the construction of a single-family home. The lot is currently vacant, fronting on Grovemont Road, and then the side fronting Vanessa Drive. Water is available, and they would like to connect to it. It's just shy of a half an acre. Although it does appear as if it might be a satellite annexation, it actually is contiguous. We determined that Smith Elementary School, as being owned by the school system, is a unit of county and local government. So it acts as a land bridge between our contiguous corporate limits and what otherwise would be a satellite here at St. Andrew's Methodist Church. But for the, like I say, for the purposes of this action, it is considered contiguous, so we don't have to consider any of those special satellite considerations. And we do have an ordinance here for you tonight to adopt if you would like to approve ordinance number 2025-5360.
Does the applicant wish to make a statement?
They are just here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, well, saying that, then we will move along to recognize council members who might want to ask questions of staff or the applicant, and we'll start at this end with Mr. Matthews this time.
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Singleton? He's good. Ms. Behringer?
No question.
Mr. Dellinger? No question. Mr. Vance?
No questions.
Well, I've got one silly question, and this is more of a nosy neighbor question than a technical question. But the house to be constructed there, is that the one that's sitting there on blocks now, or is that the one that's going away? Okay.
Requesting to be annexed. That home was moved from 5005 Old Stage Road, which is at the intersection of Old Stage and 401 and Maxwell. So the house is going to live there forever and ever.
This will be the new house moving
Correct.
in?
Yes.
Okay, well, it looks like a real house, not like a mobile house at all.
It's a real house.
Okay.
It's missing its skin. We took the brick off before we moved it.
Okay, that was just a nosy neighbor question.
Cool.
Thank you. Any other questions for the property owner? Thank you. Okay, that being said, we have recognized the people. We will close the public hearing at this point, and I will ask council members for a motion and a second related to approving ordinance 2025-5360.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Vance made the motion. Mr. Matthews seconds the motion. Is there any other discussion on this particular ordinance? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to ask again for a voice vote. All those council members in favor of adopting ordinance 2025-5360, please signify by saying aye or sign language to that effect.
Aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. It passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Triesenberg. Thank all of you. And that takes us to item number 2 on the public hearings, and this is related to a voluntary contiguous annexation related to 1214 and 1216 Buffalo Road. And again, our planning director, Mr. Jeff Triesenberg.
Yes. Yes, case number ANX 25015 is for the two properties currently located at 1214 and 1216 Buffalo Road. As with the previous case, these lots are currently vacant. The petition was submitted by Kay Walker of Future Ground Ventures. Representative tonight here to answer any questions is Mr. Trevor Miller. Again, these are two vacant residential lots anticipated for two single-family houses. The total acreage is 1.43 acres. It includes a little bit of intervening right-of-way there along Buffalo Road. They are wanting to connect to both water and sewer. Sewer is behind, as well as water in Buffalo Road. And this is contiguous, directly across from the Lakemore subdivision. And so again, no need to consider any satellite related extra criteria. And again, we have an ordinance for you here if you would like to approve by adopting tonight. It's ordinance number 2025-5361.
Does the applicant wish to make any presentation?
Just here to answer questions.
Okay. That being said, let's recognize council members who might like to ask a question related to this. We'll start with Mr. Vance.
No questions.
Mr. Dellinger?
Just two questions. One is there an easement going between those properties? How wide is that easement?
I believe that there is, I think it's maybe 20 or 30 feet max. So split evenly on either side.
And what kind of setback requirements are there for homes between property lines and easements and the frontage on the road? I kind of trying to visualize how those fit, how homes are going to fit on those lots.
Sure. So I imagine the homes will probably be more oriented in a kind of a shotgun fashion. I'll let the applicant speak to that though.
My name is Wesley Lynn with Call Group Residential. Trevor is a medical issue, so I had to come in his stay. But yes, they are going to put, the orientation is based on the build. I imagine they're going to be closer to the front part of the road. And then the 1214 already sold, and 1216 is going to be, hopefully we're going to offer here soon, but more towards the front part of the road. And then the orientation it just depends on what the builder decides to do on the size of the house. Looking at a home around 2,000 square feet, two-story is kind of like what we've been looking at with a builder that we've been in touch with. And so most of the homes are all in that similar lot size are facing the road just at the front side. So there is no orientation. They kind of just have a straight perpendicular, I guess you could say, parallel to the road.
And so what's sort of the distance from the road or right of way to the actual house structure of the house?
The distance from the front to the back?
To the road, to the structure.
I don't have that in front of me or with me with the regards to the distance. I just know that the builder has already approved and looked at the site and considered all setbacks, that one of the homes that they provided to us to build, not us, but for a potential buyer to build, that actual building itself has been basically just given a thumbs up by a potential builder. So.
Good question. While we're talking about it, and you're formulating your next question to follow up, Mr. Triesenberg, if you could put the slide back up with the map, and perhaps you or our applicant here could expound a little bit on what kind of easement it is, where it goes in relation to the two property lines. Is it a Raleigh sewer line?
That's a sewer line. Yes, it's a sewer easement.
It actually goes through there as well as their
right
access,
down the middle, from the front
down,
to the back.
almost on the property line from the road going back.
Yes.
And do they have a little path, a driveway?
There is a gate with a driveway, so they allow for the a vehicle, utility vehicle, whatever, to access the whole easement from the front to the back.
And that's on one of these two lots now?
It's right in the middle, right
in
split
the
in the middle.
Okay, would that remain available for them to use?
Yes, that's not going to be taken away.
Okay.
That's been considered. Whether one buyer buys them all or separate buyers, those easement is set there in place and will not be disturbed or, I guess, blocked in any way. So no structure can be built within the setbacks.
Okay, so I guess just ask Mr. Dellinger's question again. It appears that two normal-looking houses with appropriate orientation would fit on there, along with the easement and the necessary setbacks. Is that kind of the question you were getting at?
Yeah, because I'm just looking at the lots. When you get, 50 or 60 feet deep, there's only about 85 feet of road frontage on each lot. And what my concern is, as you get further, it gets narrower.
Right.
So then what are those setbacks? The other concern I have is that is probably the most dangerous corner on that road. In adding two driveways and making sure either there are garages and there's enough room for people to turn around and not backing out on that curve.
Right.
It's a very dangerous curve to add traffic to. So I'm just, if people just have concerns of people backing out on that curve. So. If there's not a curved driveway or there's not enough room to turn around a car, if you go into a garage and able to come out. And also some concerns are just about how close those homes are going to be to the property line on this side and the easement on the other. Mm-hmm. It's just hard to visualize.
Right. The property on
the right side of 1214 is basically almost hugging the property line. And then property on 12, next to 1216, so 1218, is further to the left. And so when it comes to properties being close to each other, the only one that would be considered close to each other would be maybe 1214 or 1214 and 1212. But the other two, the other property, because you can see on the map, is further to the left, back left. And then you can see the easement right in the middle. And then the bottom of, just above, I guess the little icons would be the right side of 1214. So there's already two homes like on that little curve.
And so Jeff, the setbacks for a single family on those lots is about 20 feet or something?
Usually 20 or 25. So at that distance, you're still going to have about a 90-foot wide lot. So even with 15 feet taken out for the easement, you're still left with 75. And the side setbacks can overlap.
Okay. Yeah. And again, how far off the road would they be comparable to the others, or are we talking 20 feet from the road or 30 feet? Because those other ones look to be about 60 or 70 feet from the road. Is that a good Jeff's measuring for me?
Yep.
60 from the right of way, so probably 70 from the road itself.
Yeah,
is that how far back? Are they going to be comparably back?
I mean,
from the
that
road?
one right there we're seeing that he almost highlighted right there is further up than what we were looking at.
Okay.
It's 42 feet off, and so they were planning on going further back than the one that's already established there. It is very close to the road.
And both of those lots, you'd be further back than 42 feet from the right of way.
That's what yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's all my question.
Yeah, good questions. Thank you, Mr. Dellinger. Ms. Behringer? No questions. Mr. Matthews, this is pretty close to home.
Yes, sir, right around the curve. Matter of fact, the sewer lines are putting in right now. It's just about where this is at, right on that curve. So they're coming right on down through there. So, no questions.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions pop up?
Gray. Mr. Singleton?
Oh, don't forget Gray. He's not here, but he's with us. He's still alive. Mr. Singleton, any questions or comments you'd like to make? He says he's good. Thank you. Okay. Good presentation. Thank you, Mr. Triesenberg. Anything else you would like to add?
No, sir.
Okay. So we will close the public hearing, and I will ask the council members for a motion and a second related to adopting ordinance 2025-5361.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Vance makes the motion. Mr. Matthews seconds the motion. And let's try the voice vote again, since we have one person remotely here, unless there's some more discussion or comments we want to make there. Okay, hearing none, we have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance, and I will ask for a voice vote if you're in favor of this ordinance, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by nay?
No.
Okay, Mr. Dellinger votes no. Mr. Singleton voted aye remotely, so this motion carries 4-1. Thank you very much, Mr. Triesenberg. And that concludes our public hearings for this evening. We move now to new and old business, and there is none on our agenda. Committee reports. We always look forward to a committee report, and let's start with Mr. Matthews, and we'll work down the council members here.
Don't have one this week, but I'll have it at the next meeting.
Okay. Ms. Behringer, committee reports.
Public Art Committee will be meeting on September 10th, which is next week, so I'll have a report after that.
Excellent. Mr. Dellinger.
No report.
Mr. Vance.
No report.
Okay, well, we'll move right along to manager reports, and I'm pretty sure we have at least one item to talk about.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, members of council. We have one item that we'd like to present to you this evening. If you recall at our last meeting, I mentioned that this month we are going to be changing over to a new automated software to help prepare and post our agendas. And so we are going to give you a quick demo of what that's going to look like. Our target is to, for your September 16th meeting, to use the new software, and so we'll be doing training with staff. And I've asked Mr. Hodges if he would provide sort of a review of the software itself and what it's going to look like for council. So I'll turn it over to Mr. Hodges.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Good evening, Mayor and council members. In your packet, Ms. Gibson had included a memo that highlighted some of the reasons that we've been pursuing this software in addition to what Ms. Miller shared with you. Also in your agenda packet was a mock agenda for what an agenda is going to look like. So that is not a specific agenda, even though there's a date on it, but it's a culmination of items of types that we want to show you. So I just wanted to highlight a few things for the agenda. So you'll see that this new agenda will have a slightly different header, some additional information on it. As we come down, there'll be some different naming conventions for the sections. So section A is calling the meeting to order, and items that you have typically seen as other lettered items will be numerically listed under this heading of call the meeting to order. Under petitions and comments, some of the things that the mayor frequently reads to the community is added so that it is on the face of the agenda, so everyone has that. This software allows us to have some templated language, and we've chosen to add that to the cover, to the body of the agenda. Also, you will see, as in section C, proposed action. There's a proposed action that will be shown on all of the agenda items moving forward, even though there may be some of the things that in the past you may not have seen those specifically listed. As you go down to section F, and under public hearings, one thing that will be different is there will be a section under public hearings for legislative hearings, and the preamble that the mayor reads about legislative hearings will always be shown on the agenda. And then also there'll be another section for quasi-judicial hearings. Now, if there is not a hearing of one of those types that evening, that section will not show, but when there is one, you will see those headings, the preambles, and that information will show, so everyone has that. What that then does is it will start numbering your hearings as under 1 for legislative 1.1. So again, just a few different naming and numbering conventions that we wanted to make you aware of. And then lastly, as you come down towards the end of the agenda, there's a new section called Updates to Council. So several of the things, the sections that the mayor just highlighted, like committee reports, manager reports, attorney reports, and council reports, will all fall numerically under a heading of Updates to Council. And then lastly, the closed sessions. So there's the citation for each of the types of citations that can be made to go into closed session are in our agenda system, so we will pull those in. So if there are 2 topics like this example is showing, where we will be calling for 2 different closed sessions, you will see a proposed action for each of those types of citations. And as the attorney can give us guidance when this actually happens, there'll be an opportunity that you could make one or multiple motions to go into those closed sessions. So just wanted to provide you a highlight of the changes that you'll see when you see the new agenda form. I'll pause there momentarily and just see if there's any questions about the layout and the format of the new agenda.
Yes, I'll call on the council members one by one. But first, I'll just add what I've recently learned, that there are a number of staff people, a number of people who work on these agendas, sometimes almost simultaneously. And it's my understanding that this particular software will make that more robust and more meaningful, easier to deal with multiple authors, multiple contributors. Just one of the features of this.
Yes, sir, that's correct. And since you mentioned that, I'll also use that as a prompt to remind you of one other thing. As we work through the rollout of this, you may have a slightly different format to your pending agenda report, because as the mayor is alluding to, we will actually be, instead of a floating document where we compile those things and then put them together into a report form for you, we will actually be creating agendas out into the future and placing items on them when we know which meeting they're going to go on. So we'll ask council's patience with us while we have a hybrid model for maybe your next 1 or 2 pending agenda reports. And after a couple of months of providing those and getting feedback, we will determine what format for those is best. So thank you, Mayor, for that. But that answers your question, but also for that prompt.
Absolutely. That being said, we'll take a quick look down the road here and see if there's other questions or comments related to this particular change.
No questions or comments.
Dellinger,
Looks good.
Ms. Behringer. Mr. Singleton, I won't forget you. Give me the thumbs up. One will do. Mr. Matthews. Okay, thank you very much.
So just one other thing I'd like to share with you tonight, and so the public that's viewing this could also see this. The page that you would typically go to for your council agendas that currently looks like this, that page will get replaced with a page that looks like something like this. If you have this page bookmarked, you will not need to change your bookmark. We will simply be changing the back end of the page that shows up. But you will see upcoming meetings listed here, such as the Tuesday, September 16th meeting, and then the work session on the 30th. I'm going to just open past meetings here just so that you and the public can see that one of the things we will have now is the ability to open a meeting at this link, and that will open the agenda, but the agenda will actually have a paper clip out beside the item. So agenda materials will then pop up in a box here, and all the agenda materials will be available. So some of you may be familiar with other agenda softwares for boards or commissions that you might serve on. Campo, for example, and others use something that's a little akin to this. But we just wanted to show you and the public that when you go in and click on the agenda, you'll be able to click individual items. And also, if it will let me go back, there will also be a place that presentations will be shown, similar to the way we've been doing that now. We've been doing that sort of with a workaround of a different tool, but you'll have those there. And then the agenda can be downloaded as a PDF with this link, or it can be opened as a web address here. So you'll have several options of ways that you can access the agenda.
And before anyone asks, I've been assured that anyone who benefits from receiving the paper copy, anybody on the council or staff who benefits from getting this, can still get it in paper.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And special thanks to both of our clerks, Ms. Gibson and Ms. Murray, and also to our strategy and innovation manager, Mari Howe, who could not be here with us tonight, but she's done a lot of work on the setup of this system. And so it's really been a team effort to get this launched, and we'll look forward to providing your September 16th agenda in this new tool.
Excellent, thank you.
One more question.
Ms. Miller, any other, another question or comment?
Yeah,
Sure.
just two quick. One, will the minutes be embedded along with the past meetings link when those are done and approved?
Yes, sir.
And the other questions on those minutes, is it possible to get like a link to the YouTube video in the minutes?
We will check and see if that's a possibility.
I mean,
and
as a matter of just convenience for
yes, sir. We will check to see if that can be embedded.
Right.
Thank you for both of those questions.
Excellent, good questions. Good question. Okay.
I have a question, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, okay, another one from Mr. Singleton. Go ahead.
Yes, John, where do you go for past agendas? Can you show us how? I know, before you click now, you just go to all past, and they're in order of the latest dates. So how would you find a past meeting?
So, Mr. Singleton, you may recall that when we moved to this new format, we archived a page that we used to have on the website and said from this date forward, you will go back to this past agenda. We will have another archive that will be the period of time from that archive till September 16th that you will go. And after September 16th, you will go back to this landing page for any past agendas that are created from September 16th going forward.
So where are the past agendas?
So the past agendas
past.
now are at this link that is called Agenda and Minute Archive. So anything that was prior to July 1, 2024, you would still go to this link, as you have been doing recently if you went to one of those. For anything between January 1, 2024 and September 16th, you would be returning back to this page that we have here. This will be housed in another archive that we will label with the date. So you will go back and use the All Pass tool here. And then starting September 16th, you will get them on the main landing page. Does that answer your question?
Well, I mean, and before you just went to all pass and they were in order of the date, and it was pretty simple. Is this that simple? It doesn't sound that simple to me.
Well,
And you know how IT savvy I am, so.
For the period of time between July 1, 2024 and September 16th, you will still go to this link with all passed. And then starting September 16th, if you were to get to December of this year and needed to look back at an October agenda, we will then be able to show you what it looks like to go to the past between September 16th and the date that you're on. And this, because this is a mock-up, we don't have to show you the past ones here, but we'll be glad to show you that once we have it set up. Well, this one is in the past. So your past meetings from September 16th going forward would be shown here, and you'll just pull this down and there will be your list. Your upcoming meetings will be at the top.
Well, in the upper right corner there is there's upcoming and there's past. So if you click past, what's going to come up? How far past?
This new tool will only go back to September 16th. Anything before September 16th, but back to July 1 of 2024, there'll be another link for you to go to. And then the old archive is prior to July 1 of 2024. And I think that's a 3-year look back. And once we get everything launched, I'll be happy to send an email to council that has links to all of the pages where you can find the past agendas.
At least in regards to past agendas, it seems like it's a whole lot easier now, but anyway, it's going to change, so I reckon I have to learn.
Okay, other questions or comments? I think we were about to get to Mr. Matthews.
None, we're good.
Back to Ms. Miller.
I just wanted to echo what Mr. Hodges said as far as a big thank you to our clerks, Ms. Gibson and Ms. Murray, as well as Ms. Howell, who's our innovation and strategy manager. They've put a lot of time and energy into creating a process that is functionally easier to do the work that we need to do, especially when we have short turnaround times between meetings, and to make sure that we really focus on reducing the number of mistakes or errors in the agenda packet. And so this will help us substantially in doing that. So I just wanted to recognize and thank them for their work.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Hodges. Any other manager reports?
Yes, Mayor, just a few announcements. It's exciting that we are in September and we've got some great events lined up in the community. First, a reminder that Garner's Festival Latino is scheduled for the lawn in front of the Rec Center on Friday, September 12th from 6 to 9. Also, we have a big sweep and little sweep event on September 16th from 9 to 11. And so this will be hosted at White Deer Park. Those interested, we encourage pre-registration, and that can be done at GarnerNC.gov. And registration on site begins at 8:45, so that'll be coming up this Saturday. We'll also be hosting an electronics recycling event on Saturday, September 13th from 8 to 1 at the Public Works Complex. And so more information about what's allowable and acceptable can be found on the town's website. And then we have a few exciting groundbreakings happening this month as well. On Monday, September 8th at 11, we'll have a groundbreaking for the splash pad at White Deer Park. It'll be a brief ceremony that'll give everybody an opportunity to see the area where the new amenity will be installed. And then on Monday, September 15th at 4, we will have a brief groundbreaking ceremony for the Inclusive Playground project at Garner Recreation Center. So as you can hear, we've got a lot of really great events lined up for September. Those are all our announcements and updates for council this evening. Happy to answer any additional questions.
Hearing no questions, we'll move right along to the attorney reports.
No report this evening.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to council reports, not the committee reports, the council reports. And I think this time it's our turn to start down here with Mr. Vance.
No reports.
Okay, Mr. Dellinger?
Yeah, just a question on Buffalo Road. I assume all the infrastructure work is related to the Greenway. What's the current timeline for that work? Is it related? I hope it's related.
The Buffalo Road work, I believe, is a Raleigh sewer project.
It's not related to our Greenway work.
I
at
don't
all?
believe that it is.
Oh, okay. I figured it was, but I guess not. All right. On the opioid settlement, do we know how much that's going to be? Or is that not set or?
I don't have that information with me. If you take the link to the website, you can somewhat find out how much Wake County can do, but there are so many of these settlements now, it's a little bit difficult to navigate. We do have to opt into this particular one by October 8th, so I don't know if the final amounts will have been determined for this particular one.
Okay. Thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Ms. Behringer? Mr. Matthews? Well, that takes us to item N on the agenda, which has to do with the closed session that had been on there.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, may I ask a
Geez, I
question?
keep forgetting about you, Gray. I'm sorry, man. Come on. Sorry.
We got to tighten up. I'm sorry. I'm joking. A quick clarification, please. The groundbreaking at the rec center for the playground. That playground is an all-inclusive playground with the mat, the rubber mat, and so forth. And it will have part of that playground will be for kids with special needs. Is that correct?
Yes,
Kids,
that is correct, Mr.
including
Singleton.
kids who may have
Yes.
may use a wheelchair?
Yes, that is correct.
Just trying to find out.
Yes. Did you hear me, Mr. Singleton? That is correct.
Okay, no, I didn't hear. I
Okay.
didn't hear, Jody. I'm sorry.
okay.
Okay, so it is all inclusive, and it will be for kids, all kinds of special needs, including kids with wheelchairs.
Yes.
Okay, all right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you. And let me again point out that Councilman Singleman has been our test pilot and an excellent example of how effective a remote meeting can be if only the mayor can remember to point to him at the correct time. So thank you for keeping us safe from germs. Thanks for your participation and showing that we are able to work remotely. Thank goodness for modern technology. I see your microphone is off. I'll move right along to the information about the closed session that had been put on the agenda, but now the town attorney has withdrawn this request for a closed session this evening, perhaps to be rescheduled at a future time. So there is no closed session. So if there's no further business, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to adjourn. I'm going to go for a voice vote and a thumb vote here to say all those in favor of adjournment, please signify by aye or thumb. Aye and thumb. Okay, thumb. All right. That's what I'm talking. Anybody signify by who is opposed, signify by nay or thumbs down. Hearing none or seeing no thumbs down, meeting adjourned. Thank you very much, all who came tonight.